This is something nobody really warns you about. Narcissistic abuse doesn't look obvious at the start. It rarely comes with a warning label. It's a slow slide, not a sudden drop. Most people don't realize they're in it until they've changed without even noticing it happened, you guys, okay? That's what we're going to talk about today on Trauma Talks. You don't just wake up one day and find yourself playing a role in someone else's story. It sneaks up on you. Little shifts over days and weeks, not big dramatic events. Your body and your feelings usually know the truth before your mind catches up. You'll get signals, subtle physical signs, long before you can put the story together in words, you guys, okay? So if you want to notice when you're not safe before you lose yourself, you have to listen to your body, not just what people say or the words you hear. That means paying honest attention to how your gut, your heart, and your chest feel in everyday interactions and what happens inside you after you leave. Yes, after you leave those feelings. Because here's the truth. The signs of narcissistic abuse are sneaky. These are some red flags, you guys. Are some tiny but little whispers, not shout, but we're going to get into that today. All right, so welcome to Trauma Talks. Let me explain the first red flag, the one that happens before you disappear into a role you never chose for yourself, okay? The very first clue is you feel different around this person. And not in a good way, not excited, not happy, but uneasy, tense, or perhaps drained. Here are some specific examples that you can look for. You find yourself practicing what you're going to say before you see them. Or if you're already bracing for judgment, you get a knot in your stomach or a tight, compressed feeling in your chest, especially right before you meet up with them. You're always scanning their mood, worrying about how they'll react to small things. Did you text back fast enough? Did you say something wrong? You watch their face for clues of what they're going to do. Are they annoyed? Are they disappointed? Are they silent for a reason? Yeah. You notice that when they're in a good mood, you feel an outsized sense of relief, as if you've dodged a bullet or something that day, okay? You might even replay conversations in your mind afterwards, wondering if you accidentally caused a problem. If your body feels on edge, that is a warning, you guys, a warning sign. Feeling safe is supposed to be soothing and calm. It feels peaceful, not tense. When you're chronically feeling like you're walking into a test you didn't study for, that's a sign of emotional danger. That's not a sign of love, okay? So after that, you begin to adjust how you act. You try to shrink yourself down so you won't be a target, all right? Maybe you avoid sharing opinions, or you apologize for things that aren't really your fault. You might stop joking around, stop talking about your achievements, or even avoid talking about your day altogether because you're afraid the jealousy or criticism will happen. You soften the truth, you avoid conflict, you begin to over-explain, giving long explanations, adding disclaimers, anything to steer clear of drama. You try really hard not to upset them, even if it means holding back your needs and keeping your dreams or plans to yourself. Maybe you start lying by omission, okay? Just to have some peace for a minute, okay? That's not about being a good partner, you guys, or a good friend. That's your survival system taking over in that relationship. If you constantly feel like you have to manage their emotions, filter yourself, or walk on eggshells to keep things calm, you're not in a safe relationship. Safety means you can relax to be real without fear. Absolutely be yourself. Yes, okay? So then something even more confusing starts to happen. Your feelings and your reality get questioned or dismissed. The person might say things like, "You're sensitive. You're overreacting. That's not what happened. Are you sure? Why are you making such a big deal? You always do this. I think your memory is off. You're misremembering." Yeah, all right? That's how it looks, okay? The more someone tells you that your feelings don't make sense, the more you start to doubt yourself, okay? You wonder if you're being dramatic or if you're the problem. Gaslighting starts tiny, you guys. Maybe question a single detail so you accept their version of reality. But over time, it adds up until you feel like you can't trust your own memory or instincts any longer. This makes you easier to control because you begin to rely on their reactions to decide if what you feel or saw is real. Yeah. You might also realize that this person never really takes responsibility for their part in the problem. Here are more explicit examples that you can look for. They apologize by blaming you, like, I'm sorry you're upset, but you made me do it. If you try to talk about something that hurt you, suddenly you're discussing your mistake or how you could have handled it better. When things go wrong, of course, they'll blame your friends, your family, your tone, the traffic, anyone but themselves. Your feelings turn into a weapon. If you're sad, you're accused of trying to guilt trip them. If you're angry, they'll say you're attacking them. If no one is willing to repair things or admit their fault, a safe connection can't grow. Healthy people care about how you feel and want to make things right, okay? Narcissists double down, of course, or make you feel guilty for bringing it up. Yes, okay? So one of the biggest warning signs is when you start feeling like it's your job to fix their emotions. Your thoughts sound like this. Maybe I should have said it differently. Maybe I should have said it differently, okay? Maybe I triggered something from their past. So you're blaming it on yourself. If only I'm extra calm and careful, maybe things won't explode tonight or next time. It's up to me to make sure they're okay. Okay? This sense of responsibility begins to creep in ever so quietly. You barely notice it, but soon it becomes a pattern. You become the emotional caretaker, tiptoeing around someone else's mood. You start to lose your own identity because you're always adjusting to fit someone else's needs. So here's the truth, you guys. Grown adults have to manage their own feelings. It's healthy to have empathy, but it's not your job to fix, soothe, or manage another person's emotional world. No, that's not your job, you guys, okay? So why do so many people miss these red flags, you guys? Because narcissistic rarely show their true colors at the beginning. They're charming, attentive, generous, and quick to attach. They might shower you with attention, gifts, or promises. It feels very intoxicating in the beginning, like a dream come true. But slowly things start to shift. The cute teasing turns to criticism. Your boundaries start getting pushed, often framed as proof of love or deep connection, okay? That's what they say. If you react, you're told you're too sensitive. You learn to stay silent for approval or affection. The more you meet their needs, the more love you get, and the more you disappear inside the relationship. Yes, all right? By the time it truly feels wrong, you're already shifted your focus, being yourself to keep the peace. You already shifted from that. So for people who grew up in families with chaos, control, or parents who ignored their feelings, it's even harder to notice what's happening. You might confuse high drama for compassion or anxiety for the butterflies of attraction. If you had to tiptoe around big emotions as a child, you probably learned to adapt quickly. Please others and ignore your own needs, okay? You might even feel restless or bored in calm, healthy environments. Yeah, because your system doesn't recognize that as safe yet. This is why it's so important to practice real listening to how your body reacts. Calm shouldn't feel dull. It should feel like an exhale, like comfort. The question that changes everything is not, do you love me? Do I feel safe being myself here? That's the question you should be asking yourself. All right, ask yourself that honestly. And if you keep answering no again and again, that's the truth you need to act on. Truth, your own gut, not just your story, not just their stories, apologies, or promises to change. Your body knows just before your mind can explain it, okay? Before you find yourself running on autopilot for someone else's, check in with yourself. Am I making myself smaller to avoid trouble? Okay, ask yourself that question. Am I always editing my words or tone to keep them happy? Ask, okay, do I feel a need to explain myself constantly, even when it's unnecessary, okay? Do I walk on eggshells more today than not? Am I afraid of how they'll react to small issues or my own needs? Okay, these aren't signs of love, you guys. They're signs your body is adapting to chronic stress. The sooner you notice them, the sooner you can set new boundaries, seek support, or start taking steps to protect yourself. Yes, okay, so you gotta start to protect yourself, all right? So if you want, all right, I can also help you more with this, okay? We're gonna be doing a 26-day event, all right? This week, okay? So this is gonna be on YouTube, okay? Crystal Booth, if you look me up on YouTube, Crystal Booth, okay? It's gonna be called Trauma Talks, okay? 8311, I believe, Crystal Booth 8311 with an E, KRYSTALBOOTHE 8311. Why don't you check this out? It's gonna be 26 days, and we're gonna get into all the deep, patterns of this and how to really break it in your life, okay? So it's going to be on Trauma Talks, my show. So yeah, check it out, you guys. I'm really, really interested in seeing you. You deserve to trust your own experiences when something feels wrong. Your body always is telling you if you learn to listen. So why don't you check me out on the show? All right. Thank you, guys. And I'll see you there. Bye-bye.